Alfred Deakin, August 3, 1856, October 7, 1919, the Australian politician, was a leader of the movement for Australian Federation and later the second Prime Minister of Australia. In the last quarter of the 19th century, Deakin was a major contributor to the establishment of liberal reforms in the colony of Victoria, including pro-worker industrial reforms. He also played a major part in establishing irrigation in Australia. It is likely that he could have been Premier of Victoria, but he chose to devote his energy to federation. Throughout the 1890s, Deakin was a participant in conferences of representatives of the Australian colonies that were established to draft a constitution for the proposed federation. He played an important role in ensuring that the draft was liberal and democratic and in achieving compromises to enable its eventual success. Between conferences, he worked to popularize the concept of federation and campaigned for its acceptance in colonial referenda. He then fought hard to ensure acceptance of the proposed constitution by the government of the United Kingdom. As Prime Minister, Deakin completed a significant legislative program that makes him, with Labour's Andrew Fisher, the founder of an effective Commonwealth government. He expanded the High Court, provided major funding for the purchase of ships, leading to the establishment of the Royal Australian Navy as a significant force under the Fisher government, and established Australian control of Papua. Confronted by the rising Australian Labor Party in 1909, he merged his protectionist party with Joseph Cook's anti-socialist party to create the Commonwealth Liberal Party, known commonly as the Fusion, the main ancestor of the modern Liberal Party of Australia. The Deakin-led Liberal Party government lost to Fisher Labor at the 1910 election, which saw the first time a federal political party had been elected with a majority in either house in federal parliament. Deakin resigned from parliament prior to the 1913 election, with Joseph Cook winning the Liberal Party leadership ballot. Deakin was the second child of English immigrants, William Deakin and his wife Sarah Bill, daughter of a Shropshire farmer, who had migrated to Australia in 1850 and settled in the Melbourne suburb of Collingwood in 1853. Deakin worked as a storekeeper, water carter and general carrier and then became a partner in a coaching business and later manager of Cobb & Co. in Victoria. Deakin was born at 90 George Street, Fitzroy, Melbourne, and began his education at the age of 4 in a boarding school that was initially located at Kyneton, but later moved to the Melbourne suburb of South Yarra. In 1864 he became a day pupil at Melbourne Church of England Grammar School, but did not study seriously until his later school years, when he came under the influence of J. H. Thompson and the school's headmaster, John Edward Bromby, whose oratorical style Deakin admired and later partly adopted. In 1871 he matriculated with good passes in history, algebra and Euclid and basic passes in English and Latin. He began evening classes in law at the University of Melbourne, while working as a school teacher and private tutor. He also spoke frequently at the University Debating Club founded by Charles Henry Pearson in 1874, read widely, dabbled in writing and became a lifelong spiritualist, holding the office of President of the Victorian Spiritualists Union. Deakin graduated in 1877 and began practicing as a barrister, but had difficulty in obtaining briefs. In May 1878, he met David Syme, the owner of the Melbourne daily The Age, who paid him to contribute reviews, leaders and articles on politics and literature. In 1880, he became editor of the Leader, The Age's weekly. During this period Syme converted him from supporting free trade to protectionism. He became active in the Australian Natives Association and began to practice vegetarianism.